Two Player, eu sou o Sandalhas e vamos aqui de Picopines. Não sei nem ideia que jogo é esse. Fala seus loucos, sejam bem-vindos a Two Player, eu sou o Sandalhas. E vamos ver, né? Vamos conhecer esse jogo aí. Calma. Calma, calma, calma. Calma, calma, calma. Calma. Isso é legalzinho. Cansado de Souls-like. Que tem que ficar fazendo mil coisas, gente. Daí tu morre, tu volta lá pro começo. Nossa. Uma progressão no jogo, daí é foda. Quando não tem progressão nenhuma no jogo é foda. Quando tu não sente a progressão no jogo é foda. Tipo, aquele mundo escasso, eu fiz um monte de coisa, eu não senti que eu tava avançando no jogo. Vamos ver.
Dear reader, allow me to introduce you to, though it might at first appear like many books you've come across, you may therefore have the story that awaits you has not been fully told. In fact, its conclusion is not yet known. Even it is in that way that my book is special. It is in that way that you, without you, there is no story. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Tem em português, pelo menos, ou legenda? Tô a fim de ficar traduzindo.
Normal isn't what it used to be.
Ah, só tem inglês. Nem legenda.
This is a story about change. Nestled in a shallow valley is the town of Beacon Pine. Far from the town square, across the river, past the neglected welcome sign, a young boy walks alone at dawn.
Garoto tranquilo anda durante a noite.
His name is Luca Van Horn, and like you, dear
Luca
reader,
Van Horn, o nome dele.
he's here for a reason.
Ele tá por uma razão. Não sei qual a razão. Hey Dad. How are things going? O pai dele morreu. Vai visitar o pai dele no túmulo. É, ele tá caminhando, foi lá visitar o pai dele, dizendo que faz 6 anos que ele morreu, tem saudade, blá blá blá, as coisas. Ei, Luca.
Rollo was Luca's closest
Rolo. Rolo. O moleque é Rolo.
He possessed many fine qualities, but subtlety was not one of them.
Não é sutil. Um jogo mais tranquilo.
Rollo finally noticed the tears welling in his friend's eyes and the flowers on.
Ah, a mãe dele sumiu. Putz. Ela vai embora. Ih, ela meteu o pé. Acho que ela meteu o pé, gente. Calma. Tristeza. Que legal. Tickles. For the charm. Cara, esse aqui...
Wonderful! I had a good feeling about you from the moment you. That charm is a very special thing. Very special indeed. Keep hold of it for now. Its purpose will reveal itself soon enough.
Tá bom. Ih! Bonitinho. Ah, tchau. Vambora. Oi.
Rollo looked to the side suspiciously.
Ixi. Caralho. Eles vão fazer um, tipo, começar o verão deles. Tá bom. Tell Graham before heading. Tá bom. Eu sou obrigado a fazer isso? Se eu quiser ir direto.
Lucan knew that if he left without telling Gran,
Ah, sabia. Opa, ele pula! Não sabia que ele pulava.
dear reader, forgive me for this Remember that charm you found in the dandelion patch? There are more of those special charms to discover throughout Beacon Pines. They've been known to reveal themselves to those who are willing. Some of them can be found in... Since Gran had moved in, and were covered in flowery fabric,
Ponder. Pensar, né? Ponderar. Ele escorregou.
Gran had already lit the fire. She kept a warm house. One of his father's old steps. Luca had spent not for years, though.
Ah, eu gostei de joguinho assim, joguinho bestinho.
Just some dusty knick-knack.
Knick-knack.
Luca paused at his parents' bedroom. He just wasn't ready to go in yet. Gran had commandeered the upstairs closet when she moved. Some things need shelter from a young boy's mischief.
Hide. Caralho, que zona esse teu quarto, moleque.
Gran's bed was undisturbed. Luca didn't mind that she had a habit of falling asleep. It meant that he could read late into the night.
Caralho, moleque, uma
Luca
zona do
tossed on
cara.
his favorite. Even though it was the first day of summer, a chill still hung in the air.
Tchau.
Gran's moving in meant Luca was somewhat annoyed by the situation.
Tá bom. Tem um suéter. Pô, você é um calor fudido. Deixa eu falar com meu avô que deve estar ali embaixo, né? Cara, meu avô sumiu.
An array of prepared meals, each labeled with the day of the week. A pair of dull scissors.
Junk. Beep, beep.
The only piece of furniture. Oh my, this is quite exciting. I am now certain that you are the one I've been with. You'll recall I was a bit coy regarding the use of charms earlier. Excuse me, I tend to have a flair for the dramatic. You are about to encounter your first turning point. There are certain times in this tale when everything hinges on a single word. Step forth, dear reader.
Ah, velho. Ah, a gente nem viu isso.
A beginner's guide. Young Luca would spend... She always enjoyed humoring him.
Beep, beep, beep.
On the other
Ah, não.
hand, Gran will be waiting with
Caralho, entrei sem querer, gente. Eu queria ir por aqui pra
a
ver.
sturdy old...
Agora eu vou decidir alguma coisa. Mentir pra ela ou falar a verdade.
The less grand new, the better for everyone involved.
Ponder, hide.
We were just gonna go chill for the day. The best lies are built on truth.
Cara, mentir?
Easy. Impressive. You've managed to navigate your first turning point without too much of a mess. That is the power of charms. A single word can change everything. I think it's time to introduce you to the Chronicle is a record of the decisions you've made. You can see the turning point, which has been revealed. At any time, you can use the Chronicle to go back and invoke different charms, creating new. Luckily for us,
Ah,
this is the
uma
one and
árvore.
only turning point where the charms won't dramatic. It's the perfect opportunity to experiment with remember.
Deixa eu ver, botar
We were
ponder.
just gonna go ponder for the day. This was Luca's chance to sell his alibi. Nailed it.
Tá, eu mudei. Foda-se. Ah, eu posso ficar voltando. Tá. Mas o que eu quero? Só quero ir. Stay out of trouble. Get into trouble with your rolo. Eu fui pra isso, gente. Né? Come on, come on. Dang it, Rolo.
The road leading to Beacon Pines was a sort of natural barrier for the.
Natural Berry. Ah, um festival.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2. Lucas, seu amigo Rolo. Que moleque, mais nome estranho. Rolo? Nossa, que moleque nome estranho. Hein? Vamos lá, opa, control.
Welcome to Beacon Pine. For many
Well.
years, the gateway had been a small mining outpost. It wasn't until Sharper Valentine built his fertilizer company that Beacon Pines was established. Over the next 30 years, the town had grown and prospered until the foul harvest and his sudden death. In the 6 years since, everyone was simply trying.
Tá bom.
Mayor Augustus Valentine. Flustered, Gus instinctively loosened his. William Kerr was the the CEO of Perennial Harvest
Perennial
Company, had
Harvest.
become a fixture around town over the past. After the failing of Valentine fertilizer, the town was hungry to. He pulled a pen from the pocket of his sweater vest and began to frantically jot something down on a.
Ai, caralho. Oh, nice to meet you, Pete. Nossa, amazing. Esse é um joguinho de... Não deve ter nada assim triste essa vez. A única tristeza é o pai dele que morreu.
Pete stopped scribbling and glanced up from the clip.
Meu Deus, que pesquisa foi essa? Não falou bosta nenhuma, gente. Tá, já vou, cara, só vou...
Mr. Sinclair continued snoring and the chapter key often used to avoid.
Não vê que eu tô dormindo. Responde. Ele manda assim, não vê que eu tô dormindo, porra. Pra não falar com ninguém, ele manda essa. Caraca, cadê o... Deu o rolo, gente. Jetson.
Whenever Luca saw his dad's chair by the pond, it reminded him of the days they'd pack up a couple of sandwiches and fish.
Ele vai lembrar do pai dele sentado, né?
Luca opened the tackle box and picked the perfect. Luca tied a shoestring to the hook. What fish could resist a nice shoestring?
Botou um sapato. Pau. Ai! Não pensei que estourava, não.
Luca gently baited a fat good for skimming the surface.
Beleza, vamos lá então. Caralho, patinho de borracha. Quero mais, pescar mais.
Luca tied a shoe. What fish could resist?
Porque é uma bota?
Luca gently baited. Good for skimming the surface.
Outro patinho de borracha. Ah, tá. Chega, né? Chega, vambora. Cadê o rolo?
The boys had a good thing going. As long as they kept old Jeff happy, they had an endless source of precious material.
Keep out.
After Luca's father had passed, Rollo became obsessed with them building their own Hank atomic. It was some time before Luca realized it was Rollo's way of keeping him up. On certain nights, Rollo thinks it's alien. He always thinks. Luca's winter coat, with the cold holding out longer than you.
Antes de falar contigo, vou ali fora. Tem uma coisa aqui, não tem nada. Então, vamos falar contigo, Rolo. O rolo. Respa. É da mãe dele. O moleque quase morreu. The Beacon.
Holden Wilder ran the local paper of record. Beacon.
Chain.
Oh, right. Rendezvous with Roxy.
Rendezvous.
This is an important turning point. The first time where your charms will change the course of fate. And currently, we only have one suitable charm at our disposal. Have no fear, we can always return later using the Chronicle once we find... Well, now I'm just rambling. Where were we?
Caralho, essa como eu ia saber? Tô falando com as pessoas, né? Veio o rolo. Ixi, agora fodeu.
Rolo froze as Roxy took a step to Luca knew he had one chance to save his friend from being dragged home.
Tio.
In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little chill.
Só tem um. Não sabia que ia dar esse rolo. Tá bom.
A bit much, if...
Caralho. Ganhei um charme de indulgem. Come lança.
Miss Hatch could often be found near the front, too absorbed in a book to be distracted.
Ai, meu Deus. Gente chatinha também. Zariel. Raia, Luca. Tá bom. Não tem nada aqui, meu filho. Agora é pra cá ou pra lá? Tem mais coisa aqui pra baixo. O cara tá aqui de novo. E aí, Thiago, beleza? O ruim tá tudo em inglês, tem que ficar lendo, traduzindo pra mim. Minha cabeça. Ah, é legalzinho, é um joguinho bobinho, né? Que historinha, né? É uma história, né? Não sei como é que vai ser a história dele. Ah, eu até gostei dessa história de texto, é uma coisa, ele tá contando uma história, né? Quando é um texto assim, coisa, eu enjoo. Smack. Caralho. Tem que entrar mais cedo pra ele jogar, Thiago. Amanhã eu vou acordar cedo de novo. Não acordo muito cedo, mas eu acordo cedo. Ah, é um joguinho legalzinho, mas é que eu enjoo de jogar multiplayer muito tempo, né? Eu jogo um pouquinho, é que nem Fortnite, a gente joga aquele pouquinho lá e eu já fico satisfeito. Já não tem mais tanta vontade de jogar de novo direto. Solomon. Caralho, o cara meteu um...
Jeff's hardware closed down about it. The effects of the foul harvest when there are no crops in the field.
Eu vou baixar Mas o Overwatch 2 é na Game Pass ou ele tá grátis pra baixar pra todo mundo?
A promise Gran regretted. The phone booth was brand. It didn't see much.
Mas tu baixou ele... Ah, tem que ver onde eu vou baixar isso aí, na Steam, será? Cadê a fábrica maldita? Essa fábrica sumiu, gente. Ah, é verdade, né? Esqueci que era da Baronet. Nem lembrava que era da Baronet.
The path led into a small.
Não, calma, cara.
The
Nem...
fence thrummed with. Luca often asked him so that he could.
Pera aí, calma. Teve um ataque?
As sparks flew from the two bulbs remained.
Nossa, chutando.
One more to go. The fence's buzzing gave way to.
Ai, caralho, não queria entrar não, gente.
Town
Calma.
long abandoned. Now it stood only as a reminder of things left behind.
Nossa, tá. Ixi, tá com negócio de fila. Já me desanima o negócio de fila.
There was only one way
Vai
to
ser um
find
jogo que eu vou jogar uma vez só também. Só se me, tipo, se quiser me chamar pra jogar várias outras vezes, eu vou jogar. Mas...
The hose emitted it was actively draining some. The water looked almost. It flowed slowly into the.
Ah, foi por causa do ataque. Pensei que eles estavam com... já estavam com fila antes de começar o jogo.
Luca thought he heard faint sounds coming from the other side of. He pressed his ear against the cold. The sound of footsteps grew.
Shit! Ah, todo mundo começa igual lá, não tem diferença na verdade, né?
The heavy steel door knocked Luca to the ground. Disoriented, he looked up to see an imposing figure silhouetted. It lunged toward him. He tried to scramble away, but felt a gloved hand latch onto it. Luca watched his fingernails leave trails in the dirt as the hand slowly dragged him back.
Ah, fui prego.
This is a story about change. It was far from the sort of change Luca imagined for himself, but change is, after all, at the end? I probably should have warned you about this. There are many paths that our story can take. Most will end in tragedy, but don't let that discourage you. We will find the ending that this story deserves. From here on out, a charm will have a check mark when it's now. Let's try.
Caralho, agora? Peraí que eu tenho...
This is a story about change. It was, but change the. There are many paths. Most will end in. We will from here on out. Now, let's. In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to.
Caralho, meteu little shit. Caralho, meteu little shit.
Solomon Valent, current ward of Enfield Huft.
Caralho, deve voltando tempo. É, não, vou jogar um pouquinho, mas não vai ser um jogo que eu vou... tem vergonha. esse lobo, né?
Solomon trifled a gesture toward the approaching.
Falando diabo. Ai, ai. Eu vou jogar, eu vou baixar ele, vou mandar baixar aqui, se eu achar no Battle.net. Cara, eu fui direto. Tomou um show.
As the glowing windows of the old warehouse came into view,
Ixi, agora o que eu vou fazer? Rumble. Ih, vai pegar o rolo. Ixi, vai pegar o rolo aqui, vem. Tem nada ainda. Oh, pegou 2 telefones. Walkie-talkie. Ixi, tá vindo o cara. Ele vai levar o lixo ali. Vou jogar em cima dele, assim. Nossa, vou jogar o lixo ali em cima dele. Sai daí, garotada.
the boy sat petrified under the weight of the... Rollo felt around at the large sack which burdened. He snapped off a tag from just within. Rollo held the badge up to a faint shaft of light within the dumpster.
Caralho, é um corpo? É um corpo. Caralho, fudeu.
Luke sat in the dark. 1, 2, 3. Pressed his ear to the dumpster. 15, 35, 30. Screw it, that's long enough. Luca carefully lifted the... Nothing. No sign of Rollo. No sign of the man in the... Time to haul ass! Luca clambered from the dumpster, stumbling to his knees. He was up like a shot and running, sprinting toward home as fast as pines flew by, blurred by the tears. He wouldn't remember getting home at all that night, throwing his front door open, storming up the stairs to his room and surrendering. Chapter 3.
Caralho, muito rolo, hein? Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Tudo em inglês, que é o foda do jogo, é foda. Isso porque tudo em inglês é foda. Tem que ficar lendo, né? Tem que prestar atenção, né? Kena, a princesa guerreira. Vamos ver, capítulo 3.
Finding the next morning, it was quieter than usual at the
Ih,
breakfast
o rolo
table.
sumiu.
Only the sound of silverware and chewing interrupted the awkward silence. Gran's brow. She let out a long...
Cara, o molequinho sumiu. Ó, ó.
A faint electronic...
Hello? O rolo tá fudido, hein? Strange. Deu
Luca
ruim.
glanced at the now... He wasn't sure what to think.
Ixi, estão batendo na porta.
A pit formed.
E não. O rolo se perdeu.
Luca's mouth felt dry. Luca could feel feel his heart.
Caralho, velho, tem um bagulho na frente pra ninguém falar com ele. Toby.
Toby looked up from the clipboard excited.
Tá bom. É, o rolo tá com rolo, né? Porque... O festival já foi? Isso parece a Velma, esses bichinhos. Cara, tinha mais coisa pra cá nem vi. É um morcego, gente. Furar o rolo.
A bit much. Kato volunteered at the library during the summers. He wasn't very social, so making him a reliable source of if you were to ask Kato something, he'd escape into the dusty old bookshelves and Kato was lost in his read. Luca crooked his neck to see the title. He gestured to the
Fighting. Jay-Z.
The bottom corner shelf with only one binding was clean enough to read cellular biology and the chemistry of
Boring.
mycological. The entire top level, most of which were Hank Atomic and
Ah, esse barulhinho do som. Parecendo um outro jogo lá. Tinha um outro jogo que eu joguei que era assim também. Os bonequinhos não tinham voz. Só fazer um...
Sally, Luca brushed off
Ah, é
the
o
recipe
Midnight
so
Express,
easy,
eles
you'll
também tem uma
doubt
voz
it's
só.
even
Suculento.
a peek behind the methods and rumination. One of the great by
Tá bom. O rolo não tá aqui, tá com o rolo. Arim, arim.
Beck's family moved off, giving her little time to establish any she would tell you she prefers it that way.
Like Missy Missy. É bom.
Luca shifted his feet uncomfortably.
A mãe dele tá sumida e ele tá sumido agora.
Beck pulled a coin from her pocket.
O molequinho veio comigo. Beck.
The phone booth was it didn't see much.
Tem que ficar procurando coisinhas do... Tem pra cá, nem pra cá foi.
The Valentine mansion, both figuratively and literally.
É, eu vou ter que investigar isso aí. Provavelmente foi tá envolvida essa família, hein? Que tem a fábrica lá e tal.
After the Valentines shuddered.
Né? A fábrica que faliu, agora está alguma outra coisa aqui escondida.
Luca felt a chill as he approached Beck. Her eyes were locked on the string. The nearby grass was coated in a fine layer of frost.
Use.
Luca watched as Beck's eyes widened as
Caralho,
flowers
tocou no
grew
mirou
from the
florido.
dead wood. First small buds.
What the
As quickly as they had
fuck?
grown, the flowers Beck
Morria.
dropped the stick with a grunt of
Nasceu e morreu. Ixi, agora vou ter que decidir. Sabia.
Iggy took a step towards Luca, his sneer lit. Beck could see tears welling in Luca's eyes. Some things about Beacon Pines were very different from the city, but a bully from a hayseed town is really no different from a city. Beck took a deep breath and thought. Well,
Tickles.
time to bust out the tickles. Beck lunged forward and began to tickle. Tears began to form in Tish's eyes. Beck redoubled her efforts. Iggy's eyes darted around, a realization dawning on his face that he was...
Ah, porque daí pra escolher fight eu já...
before making his escape. Beck shook the ooze out of her hair as...
O cabelo dela ficou branco.
Chapter 4.
Caralho, acabou o capítulo. Chapter 4. Você no ouvido. Chapter 4.
The best policy.
Não sei se ele quer dizer como política ou tipo melhor. Vamos entender. The best policy.
For a moment, catching his breath. He'd only just met Beck, and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her. But finding...
Tá. Posso pisar nessa porra? Tickles. Tem um ataque de Tickles. Fez cócegas no grandona. Não tinha o que ela fazer. Ela não ia conseguir resistir. Aí não pula essa porra verde. Ah, o Midnight Express tem a mesma voz também.
Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching. Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience.
Ela tá sempre com uma vassoura na mão.
But this was the most intense. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking in a torrent of rambled words and... Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground. With a determined sigh, she looked up. Roxy drew herself up. Roxy tried to think of the safest... Luca wiped his cheeks and gave a quick
Mandou eu pra casinha lá, aquela casinha lá em cima.
Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
Toma. Eu posso levar? Levar então. Não dá pra levar.
Mr. Nuncree jumped with a... Luca motioned to the phone booth.
Não, o rolo tá sumido ainda. Sumiu o rolo. Tá dizendo que ele tá achando que o rolo tá sumido porque ele tá de palhaçadinha.
Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his... Luca peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. There was a deeper emotion hiding beneath the subtle, but Luca could sense something eating away at him. There was a shame, a deep sigh. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe... Mr. Nuncreed raised an eye. Mr. Nuncreed's shoulders slumped.
Esse velho tá envolvido também, será?
Luca attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand...
Isso é uma cara de louco.
With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luca into the phone. The door latched shut with a As Luca pounded the glass, the floor, the inside of the phone booth was now a loose. Luca winced.
Caralho, o velho tá
He
envolvido.
braced for impact. The capsule. He felt a cold rush of air. Two large figures in hazmat suits occlude. Luca heard the deep. He knows too much. The end. Wait. No, this isn't the end. I know there's still... Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else. Well, time to bust out the strange. Beck stared in silence, the only sign of life being the twitch of an eye. At the sight of Iggy taunting Beck, Iggy's smirk shifted to a look of shock as Luca launched himself into his stomach.
Caralho, empurrou.
Drenched in the glow. Iggy's voice began to slur.
Struggle. Caralho. Caralho, fodeu o que eu fiz.
Person at the warehouse, this strange ooze, and what it was. Rollo caught up in all of this?
Caralho, fodeu. Ixi. Caralho, o velho tá envolvido. O cachorro velho tá envolvido, gente. Acho que é um cachorro lá.
Beck glanced toward.
Caralho, estão chamando a menina ali, estão chamando eu pra casa também.
Rollo, a wave of relief washed over Luca. Gran is going to kill me. If he hurried, he might just make it home before sun. Chapter 4.
Ah tá, é que eu tive que voltar.
Oh wait, Luca took a deep breath and ginger.
Ixi, a véia sumiu.
The house was empty. Luca was sitting by the listening to small waves. His father sat in a folding chair without turning. He spoke. Why don't you grab me some nice bait? Sure thing, Dad. Luca hopped over to the tackle. Inside was a rolling, buzzing. We're fishing with bees? Luca's father gave a warm chuckle. Well, you catch more fish with bees than Luca closed his eyes and holding it at arm's length, he hurried. Interesting choice. With a practiced flick of the wrist, the line the water accepted it without a splash or the wrong choice. But the pond began to freeze over. Sometimes we gotta make the wrong choice before we can make it right. Pallid ice propagated across the
realmente,
surface
né?
with an alarming
Eu escolhi o negócio, deu
Luca
errado, eu
scrambled
voltei.
back as the ground beneath him turned cold. Dad, I don't understand. Sorry, kiddo. Understanding isn't always part of the deal. The relentless ice shot through the fishing line toward his father. Dad, look out! His father casually wound the reel. None of it's your fault, you know. Never was. Dad, we have to go! Luca grabbed his father's shoulders, trying to pull him away. Please,
Tá tendo pesadelo, né?
The ice crackled as it spread across his father. That's the thing about fishing, Luca. His chest began to crystallize. You toss your hook in, and you never know what you're gonna. A shock of searing cold ran up Luca's. The chair tipped backwards in a sink. Luca tried to stop the momentum. He watched the icy form. Dad, I don't know. A gentle rustle of leaves.
Caralho, ele teve um pesadelo com o pai dele sofrendo um ataque, uma coisa, ele tentando salvar o pai dele não conseguindo.
Luca's eyes. Faintly, he could hear Rollo amongst the noise. Rollo's voice was coming through more clearly now, but some words were still.
Caralho, também fudeu.
The signal went silent. Luca held still, waiting for a response, his pounding heartbeat marking the passage. His voice began to fade. With that, the signal. Luca grabbed the walkie-talkie.
Ah, ele vai botar na antena pra poder ter mais sinal pra poder falar com ele. Tá bom.
Luca heard a group of foot. He dashed behind the bushes to avoid being.
É a vovó, mas tá tudo envolvido.
Mr. Tolliver paused, shifting his eyes. Mr. Tolliver took one long, quiet. The three shared a determined.
Estão planejando alguma coisa no festival. Hira Tolliver. Não vai ficar lá. É pra cá, não lembro se é pra cá. É pra cá. Deixa eu ver o que eles estão conversando, esses dois cachorros.
The two boys shared a mischievous.
Tá, eu preciso de antena, né? Vai, rolo. Vai, rolo.
Luca could only see a cloaked shape. He strained to hear as a muffled voice. Fear gripped Luca's throat. Luca stared at the ground for a moment, trying to place the dampened voice. The figure shifted slowly from behind the rocket.
Ah, menina.
Luca reached over empathetically. Iggy's tone jolted to dejected anger. Luca slumped to the ground.
Caralho, meu Deus, que loucura é essa, gente? O que tá acontecendo? Caralho, os malucos ali. Caralho, os malucos querem fazer pesquisa com todo mundo.
Iggy slumped to. Luca grabbed the walkie-talkie and headed for the window. Luca and Iggy climbed up the back of the treehouse to its roof, where Rollo had constructed his mission control defense. From behind the crowd of...
Caraca, eles são soldados, aqueles malucos daquele mano.
Kerr's smile faltered. Luca's grip tightened on the...
Caralho, fodeu. Tô querendo pegar ela. Tem que decidir alguma
Luca's
coisa.
mind raced. He was caught in a trap. What do you do? Iggy wiped his cheeks with a sleeve. What are you gonna do? Luca drew himself up and decided he swung the mission control defense cannon around, aiming it confidently at the smirk.
É, vai conseguir jogar lá pra longe.
Luca summoned his most insolent demeanor. Kerr turned his back with a nonchalant wave of the hand. As the clipboards began to slowly advance on the treehouse, Luca looked at the end. That escalated quickly. Maybe discretion was the better part of valor here. Let's put a pin in this.
Caralho, eu tenho que voltar lá atrás?
This is a story about struggle. Luca could hear a machine. He felt around while his hands found. He yanked it free, lifting the cold stone. Let me! Luca swung the tile as hard as he heard the crack of glass as this, with a muffled yelp, the hand let go. Luca was free. He never looked back. Chapter 3.
Cara, ele vai e volta toda hora.
Everything's fine. The next morning, it was quieter than usual at the breakfast. Only this.
Caralho, tem... tá tudo envolvido. Os velhos da cidade tudo envolvido. É, eu vou botar como capítulo, na verdade, mas foi e voltou, né? Então voltou pro 3 de novo. Eu ganhei o Struggle lá. Os aliens. Ah, o rolo não tá sumindo mais. Vamos lá.
For a town that saw.
Cara, deixa eu ver o que eu tenho que entregar mesmo. Se não Creed, isso é Tolliver. Tolliver eu não lembro quem que é agora. Voltou a ser tranquilidade a cidade.
Eris Valent had a way of making. Mr. Wilder had. It was because she had.
Estão tudo envolvidos aqueles três então
Mr.
com a
Wilder
véia.
averted.
Agora não sei se pro bem ou pro mal, né? Pro mal, porque o velho me mandou embora, meio que Deu um fim em mim. Então esse moleque maluco aqui.
Mr. Nuncreed eyed Luca. Luca handed the jam to Mr.
Não. Mr. Fratelli e Mr. Tolliver. Pra cá que tem. Tem mais coisa da cidade. Não, é pra cá, então é pra outro lugar lá. É pra baixo aqui. Tá bom. Um é aquele ali, ó, Fratelli.
Huddled at his count. More accurately, Hiram Tolliver. With a yelp, Mr. Tolliver fumbled.
Ah não, Fratelli não, esse é o Tolliver.
He leaned He leaned in. Mr. Tolliver leaned back, speaking. He reached forward and
É, tem uma coisa escondida nesse Jen aí.
he leaned in for a fight.
Vai ter que achar outra. Só chutei a melancia, gente.
We all know Beacon Pines is a great town. What you may not know is great towns grow from mighty roots. And that is why you cannot tell the story of Beacon Pines without telling the story of one Shopper Valentine. Young Shopper's keen intellect and strong moral fiber led to a grand vision. A vision of a community dedicated to a better tomorrow. In his own words, a better tomorrow is within our grasp, but it requires a singular mind to harness it. Lucky for us, he decided to grow that vision here, in Beacon Pines. And how does one grow a better tomorrow? With fertilizer, of course.
Fertilizer. Nossa, é um problema de fertilizante deu errado, né?
Tragedy struck. A scientific experiment gone wrong. An accident which took Shopper away from us far too soon. To this day, we struggle to
O
pick up
corpo
the
dele,
pieces.
será que ele estavam jogando lá no
But one
corpo
foul
dele?
harvest isn't enough to stop the people of Beacon Pines.
Tentando reviver ele, será?
Lives on.
Caralho, o
It
que
lives
tá
in the
fazendo esse
hearts
jogo?
of
Parece tão
everyone who
bestinho, não
dreams
pensei
of
que
a
tinha uma
better
trama
tomorrow.
tão grande assim.
Together, we will follow his example and grow a bountiful future. Paid for by the Valentine family and the Valentine Fertilizer Capital Rubber Fund.
Caralho, pô. Não entendi nada que o cara falou. Tá, cadê o outro, gente? No touching. Chuto, gente. Tô nem aí. Ah, tem um coisa pra cá também, né?
Dawn had at night. By day, she hawked papers.
Ah, que a Beck. Então está com zero, né? Tem alguma aqui.
She leaned forward and
Break.
Luca shifted the basket. Mrs. Fratelli lifted the cloth.
Tá bom. A minha Beck. Caralho, meteu um follow me já assim. Veio pra minha porta e deu.
Beck locked eyes with Luke. The look on her face was equal. Beck gave Luca a quick.
Esse break eu vou poder usar pra alguma coisa, né, gente? Caralho, a menina me meteu no jantar dela, assim, que quis já, meteu e foda-se. Ah, ela mora na mansão. Como é que é? Meet back at the Big Rip Gate.
Jeff dug through his pocket.
Tá bom. Tá bueno. Ah, não, eu não moro aí, então. Ah, não moro, pensei que ela morasse aí. Ah, eles moram na casinha do jardineiro, a casa do caseiro.
Beck took a long breath. Chapter 4.
Caralho, de novo.
With the Moodwills. Ilona Moodwill was worried, but there was a difference between the almost done. Nellie was a blur of activity, digging through boxes. Sorry, love. Couldn't find the dishes. We'll have to make do with paper plates. Dinner went by without much as she watched Beck and Luca finish up their pizza. Ilona let herself relax into the chair. The things she cared about were still here. Nellie finally had the job of her dreams. Beck was beginning to take root. Ilona's task was simply to... She could do that.
Ah, são um casal?
Luca's eyes were fixed to his. Nellie was the one who eventually broke the silence. Ilona nervously gestured toward the boxes. Luca wiped his face with his sleeve.
Caralho. A menina meteu voador no peito dele. Uau!
Gave Luca a swift kick under the table. Luca glanced over to Beck.
Mas vieram aí, tem um trabalho bom, blá blá blá. Ela ficou puta porque ela perdeu, saiu da...
Luca glanced outside to gauge. The sky was darker than. Luca wiped his mouth once.
Vazou. Ela jogou moedinha.
Surprised, Luca turned around. He knew Rollo, but Beck seemed probable. Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with.
Ih, vai chover.
Luca surveyed the roiling cloud. At that moment,
Vai chover. Vou dormir na casa da Beck.
Luca squinted.
Nossa, pensei que o Rumble ia ser outro
Luca
sentido.
adjusted the slide with his
Não da
fingers to
chuva.
get a better look. Luca wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave him. Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet. Luca flicked at one of the top.
Cara,
Luca, judging by the odor, he
pungente.
flipped open the attached car.
Chuvarada, gente.
Beck took a moment to watch the.
Mas que papinho besta,
Luca
hein?
took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
Logo, se você tentar se segurar, se tentar absorver tudo, você explode, né? Você pode levar tudo, segurar tudo no... Ih, a chuva, galera.
Luca let out a feral scream.
Caralho, ele falou, tá botando tudo pra fora.
Her voice dropped to a trembling. Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up. As abruptly as it began. Beck gave Luca a light thumb.
Caralho.
Chapter 5.
Caralho. Pô, esse capítulo. Assim, ó, fui e voltou umas 3 vezes, hein? Loucura, gente. Chapter 5. Legalzinho o jogo, gostei do jogo. Apesar de ser um jogo só uma história, né? Mas gostei do jogo. Esse jogo não conseguiu me prender. Chapter 5. Que o Moonscar não conseguiu.
The air was heavy with the smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luca felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with not even Rollo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rollo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in 3. This is what Luca told himself as he headed.
O Rolo vai estar envolvido com alguma coisa. Alguma coisa vai acontecer com ele, quer ver? Lá na casa da árvore. Pô, fiquei curioso pra ver aqui. Cara, esse menino tá lendo ainda. Não vai sair daqui, gente. Eu queria subir lá pra ver. Porcão tá dormindo.
Luca had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet, and it always meant Rollo scoff.
Tá puto comigo.
Luca stumbled on his words. Luca became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now shouting across the...
Cara, estão brigando que o olho outro falando com ele.
Rollo's tone changed to a calm, yet more intense. The words hung in the cold. Rollo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed, but it was too late.
Dang it. É, mas a... Deixa eu ver um negócio aqui. Tem esse aqui do break.
Luca dug through his old stuff.
Uma bola. Go! Go, go! Tu brigou comigo dele, tá puto. Tô triste. Chorou no travesseiro.
Gran cooed gently. Luca just wanted... He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
Hippie! Hippie! Bora.
Luca dozed off again.
Não consigo descer.
Luca still couldn't bring himself to go. Besides, if he ran into Rollo, he'd have to actually confront...
Peguei.
The Adventures of... Luca carefully opened the cover. Rollo had received it for his birthday, a special hardcover edition. Rollo cherished it. Luca wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust him or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luca's more often. Whatever the reason. But it had stayed right there where Rollo had... Now, at the foot of his bed, Luca lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt... He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Cara, já tá no jantar,
Without
cara. Ficou o dia
realizing
inteiro.
it, he once again felt the weight. Luca stood in a vast. He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last dash.
Cara, ele ficou sofrendo no quarto o dia
Where,
inteiro.
taking a final loud gurgling, he jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source. Luca's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy, "Well, if it isn't the man of the hour, make yourself comfortable." Luca held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way. Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame. Luca peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were Luca could see small shadows moving in the burning sea people. Luca leapt to his feet.
Caralho.
We've gotta help them. The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand.
Caralho, ele ficou sonhando com o pai dele e o cara de amarelo,
To
não?
examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried. They only care about what's right in front of them. Not like us. Luca's voice was a trembling whisper. Us? The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt and a twist, a cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face. Luca's own face looked back at him. Older, worn, distant.
Ah, é ele que tá na roupa?
Oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. I tried to help once. He gestured towards his face, and all it got me was this. Luca staggered back. You? Luca felt a hand catch his shoulder.
Caralho, ele sonhou com o cara de amarelo, era ele mais velho.
Every choice sets us on it. This is the end of one of your... Luca watched his older self shake its head ruefully. Its face... Welp, Dad. If you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint. Luca watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward. And in a flash of cold light... What does all of this... Luca felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what. Luca woke up to... Luca rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his gran came... Gran silenced Luca with a gentle...
Accept.
Luca gave a reluctant...
A véia é boazinha, não sei o que essa véia tá aprontando, hein? Essa véia tá aprontando alguma coisa, hein, velho?
Chapter 6.
Essa véia tá aprontando alguma coisa, gente. E tá aprontando alguma coisa. Ficou no quarto o dia inteiro, gente. Moleque, pau no cu. Chapter 6.
Through thick and thin.
Truth, thick and thin.
Despite Luca's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out. A big fight changes the nature of a friend. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, if one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds. Luca emerged from seclusion, but the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find...
O que tem pra cá? Eu fui pra cá alguma vez? Ah, aqui é o Ticos. Viu?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking. Luca looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Cara, um lugar que é mais tranquilo. É, não tem muito lugar. Ah, um festival. Ó, o maluquinho das pranchetas.
Mr. Good point.
O lugar deve ser aqui, né? Um lugar tranquilo.
Jeff was Jeff turned to Luca with then gave an understand. For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
Tá bom. Ah, o velho tá botando um monte de coisa na frente. O porcão. Cara, essa aqui não sai daqui.
Sorry, all became flesh. Griffin looked away suspiciously.
Ele falou da biblioteca. Ah, de novo?
We all know Beacon Pines is a great town. What you may not know is great towns grow from mighty roots. And that is why you cannot tell the story of Beacon Pines without telling the story of one Shopper Valentine. Young Shopper's keen intellect and strong moral fiber led to a
Caralho,
grand
pensei que ia ter
vision.
um
A vision
diferente.
of a community dedicated to a better tomorrow. In his own words, a better tomorrow is within our grasp, but it requires a singular mind to harness it. Lucky for us, he decided to grow that vision here in Beacon Pines. And how does one
Bigger
grow a better
minds.
tomorrow? With fertilizer, of course. Valentine's Fertilizer Company became the lifeblood of a town yearning for purpose. But then
Ele morreu
tragedy
tudo.
struck. A scientific experiment gone wrong. An accident which took Shopper away from us far too soon.
Morreu. E ele morreu.
To this day, we struggle to pick up the pieces. But one foul harvest isn't enough to stop the people of Beacon Pines. The spirit of Shopper Valentine lives on. It lives in the hearts of everyone with a dream for a better tomorrow. Together, we will follow his example and grow a bountiful future. Paid for by the Valentine family and the Valentine Fertilizer Company Remembrance Fund.
Lugar tranquilo. Ah, biblioteca, né? É verdade. Em lugar tranquilo, biblioteca. Acho que era biblioteca mesmo. Vem pra cá.
Kato's eyes lit with Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
A plan for fool you may take into.
Kato stared at Luca eagerly.
Or plenty for fool you make take it so. When the 50 king dying, you need this too. Su. Entende? Su, não entendi.
There were rarely simply a variety. Luca grabbed the adventurous. Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 4 from the. Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 5 from the shop.
Ah, não lembro o negócio de.
Kato removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luca's, turning on the link. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed. The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue 5.
Ah, agora entendi.
His tongue with recognition.
Sem querer.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
Agora we just suck grift.
He continued flipping.
Grift in. Grub. Cart.
Reaching the end of the book, Pato looked up.
Griff's Next 10. Nem sei onde é isso, gente. Falar bem a verdade pra tu. Acho que é no festival, né? Griff's Next 10. Quem que é o Griffin? Nem lembro quem é o Griffin. Caralho, onde que é o Griffin? Não lembro. Quem que é o Griffin? Na verdade, não lembro. Ah, esse é o Griffin.
Before Luca could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn. Luca shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn.
Esse é o Griffin.
Luca tongued at his cheeks, feeling something rough between. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a. He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip. Luca finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
Tá. A Big Bum, you need some pep. Pep, não sei o que é isso aí. Uma fonte, tem que achar uma fonte. Pera aí, tem que fazer um negócio antes. Uma hora vai explodir essa porra. Fonte aqui.
Lumi waved his hands around sarcastically as he.
What take flight but has no wings? O que voa, mas não tem asas. Sua tarefa final. Que voa, mas não tem asa. Balão.
Rollo sheepishly handed Luca the.
Flight.
Luca threw himself at Rollo, hugging him as.
Bora então, o rolo. Esses caras são robôs, será que não são robôs essas porra?
Rollo handed Luca an Luca, some things are going to happen that might be difficult for you to understand. If I am honest, I hardly understand them myself. But whatever happens, none of this is fair to you. You have already lost. We both have. I wish there was a simpler way forward. But if there is, I haven't thought of it. God knows I've tried. Everything I've done. I hope someday you can accept that. Love, Gran. Luca folded the paper into his pocket.
Estão relaxando.
Luca was at a loss, but that was fine. Words aren't always necessary. Sadly, this was untrue. A distant rumble shook the treehouse. It was not fireworks. It was something the boys couldn't possibly comprehend. Something as old and cruel.
The fuck?
A shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter. Before they could react, it encased them in ice. Two boys, reunited by friendship, and so, our story in a silent treehouse turned statuary for the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. I won't accept it, and I hope you. There are more endings. We are just going to have to sort through them all. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dead.
Isso vai dar certo esse momento.
He looked up with.
Mandou.
Luca and Iggy win. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give after what felt like a marathon. Luca stopped in his tracks as they. That was all he was able to say. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed.
Caraca, no
across the
gelo.
city to.
Que porra é essa, gente?
boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly...
Caralho, não entendo nada.
Luca had almost forgotten. Luca looked at Iggy. With a resigned sigh, Luca responded. Luca winced. Shut. Looking down at the frozen street.
Caralho, não entendi nada, gente. Tá tudo congelado porque eu congelei também.
Crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went high. He looked back to see Iggy's. Luca peered upward at the... He let out a long, foggy, faintly. Iggy, seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state, gave Luca a sense of compassion. Luca allowed himself to... The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the event. As it was,
Caralho, entendi
all
nada.
they had Iggy motioned sarcastically. Iggy shrugged. Iggy now wept.
Ela tem inveja, na verdade. Ela que foi no bullying, mas ela tem inveja.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve. Luca gave a warm chuckle. Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped. Iggy arched into a... Luca's eyelids began... That's all Luca could whisper. Iggy snuggled in some more. The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the... He looked up to see his mother held his
sonho
head
dele.
in her lap. She idly stroked his hair. A voice behind Luca spoke. Luca turned to see his own face, the doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right material. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories. All you don't remember, do you? Luca snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him, the day he chose to abandon. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose. Let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed. listening to his heartbeat with one of the doppelgangers.
Caralho, que jogo complicadaço.
We both know that he grabbed Luca's hand. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by it was his parents. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right. And I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice.
Foi o pai dela que matou então. O pai dele matou o cara, sei lá.
Dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the... Mom? Dad? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little over it. Luca placed the stethoscope again. It sounded like you were... Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ear. Listen to me, Luca. I have some... I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his... A figure approached soundlessly. It stood above them. Link slowly raising one hand above Iggy. From deep slumber, Iggy sprang up. Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, he felt his clenched fists lower. Luca looked up, gradually. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor. When it came to complete stranger, Iggy huffed with gratification. Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Cara, não tô entendendo nada, gente.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp. Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Luca and Iggy turned around. Nat took a deep breath in. Nat exhaled slowly, then for a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact cold and disheartened.
Ah, esse aqui é o anterior que já foi congelado.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed. Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
Caralho, então eles fizeram uma outra cidade, moveram todo mundo pra outra cidade e esqueceram a cidade anterior. Fizeram, tipo, pegaram a mesma cidade, copiaram e colaram e botaram o pessoal lá viver lá. E tem alguém que sabe por...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called.
Então o Whipwood então não tá...
Chapter 6. The Sword. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on It all seemed to point to Parent, but right now, there was one. Luca stopped dead. The tree was gone. He dropped to his knees and dug wild. His numb hands hit something hard. A dry whisper escaped Luca. There was no reply, just snow-covered silence. Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes, and suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps.
Ih, fudeu, me acharam. Ah, é o maluco.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and looked.
Seu de lado. Seu de lado.
Luca stuttered through heavings. Iggy gave Luca a solid. Luca wiped his eyes. Iggy flashed a mischievous smile.
Bora. Locate the source. Source onde que é, não, gente?
A disc of smooth metal with two faint seams were visible. Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Tá aí, tá aqui? Não é aqui não, hein? Beacon Pines. Nossa, o jogo virou outra coisa. Pensei que era um jogo de conversinha.
Iggy darted behind a large pine. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull paint.
Cara, que isso?
Luca rolled his eyes. Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Escondeu o negócio do rolo ali, o bicho ficou perdido.
Iggy triumphantly. The fencing listened, each chain link encapsulated with a
Tá, eu vou morrer, né? Certeza vai acabar também. Vou ter que voltar. Descendo esse poço maluco. O poço maluco!
Luca and Iggy in Arctic air.
Nossa, um buracão. Ih, fodeu.
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in calm. Kerr scratched the back of his head. His face contorted.
Caralho, tem um rolo, isso aí tem uma nova era glacial acontecendo. Fudeu.
Iggy turned to Luca with a slide. Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down. Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box.
Nossa, você vai jogar lá, vai explodir tudo, quer ver?
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr sighed into the fridge. With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Caralho, jogou. Fudeu.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashed.
Nossa.
Iggy tried to twist away. Luca dove forward, bracing. His grip was made precarious by the cold. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat. Mr. Kerr gasped.
Caralho, rolo.
Luca's hand began to cramp. Luca felt Iggy loosen. Every muscle in Luca. Luca felt his hand slipping.
Caralho, ela vai se sacrificar.
A calm settled over Iggy's face. Iggy's voice was colder than the...
Putz. Luca had no choice but refusing. Ah, não vou
Luca had no
aceitar.
choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. It wasn't long before they were once again. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. Mirror. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud you. I'll put in a good word for you with the fountain. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The end.
Caralho, morreu.
I think... Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca, as his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Deixa os dois cair.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Tá viva?
We have some idea what that would look like. A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Caralho.
With a chuckle, Nat, dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging every step, taking him further away from everyone. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold, second times a... Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequel. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Aqui. Vai ser aqui, ó. Mas vai ficar... Bem que eu falei pra ela, children hide. Hide, não sei. Não usei child hide aqui. Eu vou ficar por aqui, galera. Vou ficar por aqui. Não se esqueça de se inscrever, galera. Deixa o like e tchau. Tá divertido?